What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Y'all are killing it. So many new faces in the Jedi community here, so just wanted to welcome everybody and say thank y'all for that crazy support. And we are continuing this banger trend right here with another Solar 3.0 video for y'all. This time coming from our hunter with an unexpected exotic, in my personal opinion. Now, that unexpected exotic that I'm talking about is the Frosty exotic boots, which when we sprint, we get our abilities back faster, and this allows us to spam our grenade, our melee, and our dodge super consistently with this build right here. So for our subclass with our aspect and fragments here, we're going to go with the blade barrage with gambler's dodge actually, so we can get those throwing knives back. Triple jump with our knife trick, our fan with 3 of those coming out, and then also our fire bolt grenade. This has been super fun for this build and pairs well with how we have it built out. Now for our aspects here, we're going to have knock them down, so our super with blade barrage launches more projectiles, as well as we're radiant final blows with our throwing knife fully refunds our melee energy, allowing us to spam these throwing knives even more than usual, especially since we have gambler's dodge on and some of our fragments and armor mods as well. Then for our second solar aspect here, we have Gunpowder Gambler. So when we get target defeats with abilities, so our grenade or our melee, our solar debuffs on enemies, so that scorch and ignition, which we are applying a few different ways, even with our weapon in Callus mini tool, and then solar weapon also charges an improved solar explosive, and it's super nice. You throw it like a grenade, and if you let it sit, it has a timer which it detonates, or you could shoot it mid-air while it's on the ground, and it is a super big solar ignition that also causes that scorch. So it's super nice in general with all the different ways that we have solar ability spam wise to get this to charge. So we're throwing a lot of these around, causing those gigantic solar explosions. Now for our fragments here, we have Ember of Torches, so our melees, when we have a powered melee attack, we become radiant, and so do our allies, which just comes back into play right here, which when we get those final blows, we get our throwing knives back immediately, which is kind of just a positive feedback loop between Ember of Torches and that aspect there. Second off, we have Ember of Blistering. So defeating targets with those solar ignitions grants grenade energy. So our ignitions via Scorch, and then also our grenade, and then our aspect here with Gunpowder Gamble is going to reward us grenade energy. Plus Callus mini tool, those explosions are granting us a nice bit of energy as well. Finally, for our fragments here, we have Ember of Searing, so defeating those scorched targets grant us melee energy, so these just allow us to spam our abilities even more than we already do. For our weapons on this build, we're going to go double grenade launcher for Pardon Our Dust for that blinding grenade with perpetual motion, since we're going to be running around consistently with our Frosties, and then the Parasite solar exotic grenade launcher here just pairs well with our armor mods, and this thing is super fun to use. King of solar synergy right here is this unrelenting incandescent mini tool. Spreads that scorch and those ignitions around, super key for allowing us to spam our abilities as well. Now moving on to our armor mods right here, very complimentary of the build. So first off, we have Harmonic Siphon. So when we get rapid weapon defeats with the damage type matching our subclass, so both our Callus mini tool as well as our Parasite grenade launcher have a chance of creating those orbs of power. Now we pick up those orbs of power to refund our blade barrage, and we have a mod later on that applies to those orbs as well. We're also going to have Explosive Wellmaker, so rapidly defeating those combatants with explosion damage spawns solar elemental wells, which we're getting from that gambler, that nice big explosion, as well as our firebolt grenades and both of our grenade launchers as well. Moving on to our arms right here, we're going to have impact induction, so causing damage with our melee attack, reduces grenade cooldown, so that just plays perfect with the amount of throwing knives we can get via our aspect. When we're radiant, we get it back instantly, or if we're dodging and with these boots on, we get our dodge back about every 10 seconds when we're running around instead of the normal 16. So it's super nice to just have that synergy, throwing your knife, getting a grenade back, throwing that grenade, getting everything to proc, getting that gambler's explosion, throwing that, causing more scorch, getting our abilities back. Wonderful, wonderful synergy here. For our chest piece, we're actually going to go with powerful friends on this. So we have a nice crazy 109 chest piece right here to get in that double 100 with mobility and resilience here, and then pretty darn close with an 80 stat here on intellect, so we can spam that blade barrage as well for some nice DPS and add clear potential. And then with these boots and then the other mods and aspects that we have, having both of these lower isn't really a problem, just because we're able to spam all of this with the mods and aspects that we have on. Now onto what ties this build all together are Frost-Ee's Exotic Legs for our hunters, which has that increased grenade, melee, and dodge regeneration, while sprinting and dodging also increases our sprint speed, so we can get out of there a little bit faster, especially with that 100 mobility. Like I said earlier, for dodge, it's about a 5-second difference for those dodges when we're sprinting, about the same for melee and grenade as well. Now for our mods that we're going to have on this, when we pick up those solar elemental wells, we will get grenade energy back, and we're getting those elemental wells a few different ways with those explosions as well as our melee. And then right here, reduce grenade cooldown every time we pick up an orb, which plays back into our helmet with harmonic siphon when we're creating those orbs of power via our callus mini tool, and parasite multiple defeats right there. Last but not least, we're going to have utility kickstart and classy restoration on our cloak. So classy restoration, every time we dodge, we're going to get health back, and that restoration is super broken. Lots of health being regained right there. With the 100 resilience, very hard to die in this build. Then also utility kickstarter, when we dodge and our ability energy is fully expended, we gain class energy back, just allowing once again that dodge to be spammed, which in turn gives us melee, which in turn gives us grenade, and then it's just a crazy ability spam going through this lost sector. You can see the amount of grenades, those gigantic gunpowder gamble explosions that we have going on as well. When we get those solar defeats and it stacks up, then we can throw it like our grenade. Super good for that add clear spread and the scorch. And then we have that radiant, which gives us that extra damage, and then we're having restoration every time we dodge, which is again about every 11 seconds. So this build is super good for the hunter ability spam. Now I know there are other exotics we can use, like the Caliban's arms to give us the double proximity knives. If you're using something like 6 Coyote, gives you 2 dodges, and even something like Star Eater's scale, when we're picking up those orbs of power, we're going to be able to spam supers a lot faster than with this build. But this is an overall just ability spam in our dodge, grenade, and melee. And with those orbs of power being dropped from our harmonic siphon, we do get blade barrage back decently fast still, so it's again nice for some of those beefier enemies, as well as that little bit of extra ad clear that we need sometimes in those panic situations. But this build, super fun PvE build to use for the hunter, switching it up from the heavy meta with the Frosties here. Also a super fun PvP build you can make with these, which you're always sprinting in PvP, so it's nice to have those on with that classy restoration as well as utility kickstart, so you're also just spamming abilities inside Crucible. But the way we have it built out here is a big PvE solar synergy build for those Frosties. So thank you guys again for that support. Hopefully y'all enjoy this build. We got a lot more builds coming in that Solar 3.0 synergy world for all 3 of our classes. Try to share that love for all of our Guardians. So thank you all again. Truly appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.